Hello, Storm Crew. Thought I'd bust out a video real quick about a potential significant winter storm tracking down the northern U.S. into the Ohio Valley region, including Chicago. Could be in the bullseye of this winter storm. That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about how much snow they could get. And we're going to look at several different computer models, and I'm going to pick out the ones I think that are the best. And I'm also going to show you where you can find the European computer model snowfall maps for free. That's something new that has been released as of late. So I'm going to show you that as well in this episode of State of the Weather Address. So let's fire it up. All right, welcome to the other side. And we're going to first start off looking at the vorticity here. This is our storm system out here. It's not overly impressive. Now watch it slide down. Okay, this is kind of measuring the lift in the atmosphere. It's going to slide down over this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And it's already kind of into the Chicago area. Here we go. This is going to be around Friday night, early Saturday morning. And your disturbance is kind of in this area. It's not overly impressive, but it's very long duration, and it's east to west, so we're going to have some snow for quite a while here. And this map is showing the precipitation and thickness values, which kind of measures the average temperature in the atmosphere. And you can see all the snow out here. It's going to kind of slide its way south and then kind of start turning towards the east. It's a very long band of snow. This isn't like a typical winter storm, a low pressure system with, kind of a comma cloud. It's not really that. It's just going to be kind of a cold blast with a long band of snow. So we're going to advance forward here into the weekend. And you can see it pushing towards the east now into Chicago. Nice moderate, maybe even heavy band of snow. But this is going to be long duration. So this is Friday. We're going to take a break on Friday night, and then you're going to see another batch move through on Saturday. This is the GFS. Now the GFS has that second batch right here a little bit farther south. The other models actually have it farther north, hitting Chicago again and giving them a few more inches with the second batch. But the first batch looks a little more impressive, maybe even up to 6 inches on that first batch. Then that second batch moves through and a few more inches with some high pressure and some cold air working in its way in behind this. And the ratios could be just a tad higher on that second batch as well, maybe a little bit fluffier. But overall, very cold behind it. In terms of wind speeds, we'll go back and look at the winds. The isobars, these are the pressure lines, when they're closer together, that usually means it's going to be windier. So breezy, probably not a blizzard though, but some breezy conditions kind of in that area right there. For Friday and into Saturday. So we'll fast forward into the rest of the weekend, and a little bit of a cold blast, nothing extreme, but some cold air behind it nonetheless, and then some more snow potential next week. So let's see what this model is saying. This is the GFS. We will run this forward real quick. This is Friday night into Saturday. 4 to 6 inches for much of, central Iowa, Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, and southern Michigan. So that's the first round. The GFS has about 4 to 6 inches, and then that second round moves through Saturday, a little bit farther south than the GFS, but it gives another 4 to 6 inches for this area down here. That's kind of the second band, and this is kind of the first band. We'll see how those line up. If they end up overlapping each other, it puts Chicago right under the gun for maybe a foot of snow, maybe more than that. But overall, the heaviest snow by the GFS right here, 6 to 10 inches. That's using one of the ratios. This is the second ratio. It's called the Kuchera ratio. This might actually be a little bit more accurate. I think it's slightly overdone. For this event. Temperatures will be a little bit colder, but I think this is a little bit overdone. It's probably going to be right in between those two. This particular ratio has 6 to 12 inches in that area. So lots of snow there, and actually even some more snow out in this area too, 3 to 6. But I think that's a little bit overdone. I think it's in between those two. So let's see what the Canadian computer model says. Canadian computer model, that first ratio, 6 to 12 inches. We'll go down and check the Kuchera ratio. And it's got 16 plus inches, 17, 18 inches, right through Chicago, into southern Michigan, and all the way out, you know, way past the Great Lakes there. So that's several inches of snow there. I think the Canadian is definitely overdone. It tends to over-amplify systems, especially once they really get going. The Canadian computer model is really known to over-amplify things. So I would take those totals and slash a few inches off, you know, an average of 3 to 6 inches, take that off of this model. It seems to be overestimating stuff. And it actually does have 6 inches all the way out into Nebraska and South Dakota as well. Again, I think that's overdone. Split at least a quarter of that amount off. So this is going to be the NAM computer model. We'll look at the precipitation a little bit more zoomed in here. This is going into the day on Friday. Here we go. First batch of snow. Overall moderate snow, maybe a batch of heavy snow. There's quite a bit of lift in this area right here as we head towards Friday morning. So there could be some heavy snow pockets running from central Iowa to Chicago. And then rain south of that 540 line. So this is that line right here, kind of separates the average temperature being 32 degrees north of this line and the average temperature in the atmosphere being less than that south of that line. Okay, that's kind of the average. It's going to vary a little bit, but overall snow kind of north of that line, so that's just kind of a general rule. We'll play this out into Saturday. That first batch moves through Chicago. Very narrow, but it's very long duration. Continues through the day Saturday, and then there's that second wave, and the NAM is a little bit farther north with that second wave. Okay, so it's very off and on, long duration, and you can see the NAM is farther north, so that's going to give Chicago and much of Michigan more snow. And so how much is that painting out? Well, let's fast forward it here. Saturday, it's going to give, or Friday, that's going to be about 6 to 10 inches or so, 6 to 8 inches from northern Iowa through Chicago and Michigan, a little bit farther north than the other models. And then that second batch, here it comes, probably another 4 to 6, 4 to 8 inches for similar region, a little bit farther south. You can see the two waves here, and they start to converge right towards Chicago into southern Michigan. So the area where they converge, that's going to be the best area for significant snowfall. This is the Kuchera ratio. It's got 12 to 18 inches from Chicago into southern Michigan. I think that's slightly overdone. I think it's going to be in between the Kuchera and this other ratio right here. We'll fast forward that. That gives probably a more accurate representation with 6 to 12 inches kind of running right through Chicago and the Great Lakes into southern Michigan. I think it's in between those two ratios. So what am I thinking? Well, I'm thinking probably for that area circled in red, 6 to 12 inches, and there's going to be some localized, I would say 12 to maybe 14-inch amounts. Okay, just slightly more than what this says. Behind that, probably a good 3 to 6, 6 to 8 inches behind that. And the NAM is a lot farther north than the GFS is on that second wave. So the area in question is going to be this area down here. How far south does that band make it? How far south does that high pressure push that cold pocket down south? And that'll be the main question. The NAM is a little bit more accurate close range, so we'll see what happens here. And I found a website where you can find the European computer model snowfall depth, okay, or snowfall, accumulations in inches. But we're going to go just snow depth, make this real quick here. And we're going to go out to, I'm going to go a little bit farther, Sunday at 9 a.m. We're going to see how much snow depth is forecasted by the models here. This is going to be the European computer model. It's got a snow depth through Chicago into Michigan, Great Lakes region. It's got a good 8 to 16 inches for that area out there. So it's kind of looking similar to the NAM computer model. It actually has the strongest area running right through Chicago with a good foot of snow through that time period. So that's kind of what the European computer model is saying. You can find these models at weather.us. And there's several different parameters you can look at. So you can check that out. But right now, that's what the model has for this system. And then one other model we're going to look at is called the Icon model. That is the German computer model. And this has gained some popularity as of late. We'll see what that says. That first batch a little bit further north than the GFS. Second batch even further north, probably even further north than the NAM. And then there's actually another batch later on. That's going way out. Let's see. Yeah, Sunday. Another batch farther south than those other 2 rounds. So we'll have maybe even 3 rounds on the Icon. And let's see how much total snowfall that this is forecasting. We'll go all 3 rounds here. It's got probably 6 to 12 inches running right through Chicago or just north of there. Kind of along I-80, really. Okay, and then it goes out into Nebraska with 3 to 6 inches as well in southern Michigan. So I think there's a general consensus that kind of along I-80 to Chicago to southern Michigan, you're going to see a good 6 to 12 inches of snow. So we'll see what happens. And thunder snow. Some people have wondered about thunder snow. Thunder snow threat looks overall pretty low. Usually you want to see a stronger low pressure system, stronger lift. But if we were to get some thunder snow, maybe early Friday morning in Iowa, central Iowa, and then maybe another chance, as we go into Friday into Chicago. But overall, the lift does not look to be as strong for thunder snow. It's mostly going to be a moderate snow event with a couple bursts of heavy snow. But thunder snow usually want a little bit more lift in the mid-levels here than what's on here. But nonetheless, heavy snow possible with several inches as well. All right, I think that wraps up today's video. If you like videos like this, more forecasting tutorials, go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be releasing more of these. And go ahead and hit the notifications bell below on YouTube. We're eventually going to start doing live streams. When I get the proper equipment, got to get the software studio set up. We're going to be starting to do live streams more frequently. So if you want to get notified when we go live, go ahead and click the notification bell below. And for more weather forecasting videos, forecasting tutorials, we'll be posting those out a little more frequently now, probably on a weekly, bi-weekly basis as well. So go ahead and click subscribe. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you'd like to see on the channel. Tell me your thoughts on this winter storm, and I'll see you soon.